Welcome to the Hobby Jogger podcast, where elite athletes and ham and eggers lace up their stories. We explore the common ground that running creates, from the world-class runner to the hobbyist hitting the pavement, trail, or treadmill. Expect a blend of inspiration, laughter, and the shared joy that makes every step count. Join us on this journey where every run is a story worth sharing. Thank you for listening to this episode of the Hobby Jogger. I am Casey Koza. I am the host. I am joined this week by two co-hosts, two guests, one and the same. I have, as usual with me, Mr. Rob Myers. Rob, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well. Yeah, dealing with the winter blast that hit the southeast in Tennessee. I'm stuck on the mountain for 2 days, but now we can get down.
So I was just going to ask, did you get off the mountain? Last time I talked to you, you were talking about maybe going down. You had concepts to go down the mountain, but
yeah, I went down today. It was pretty fun this morning, watching all of the brave souls try to go down the mountain, and there were winners and there were losers. But,
well,
I enjoyed the watch.
Yeah, like any game, there is winners and there is losers. We're also joined by our producer today, Mr. David Moore. David, thanks for joining on the show, not just listening with your blank screen. We appreciate you coming on here and talking with us.
Good to be on, Casey. Nice to join you guys on this side.
It's fun to have you out here talking with us.
Yeah, here in Ohio still, hiding indoors mostly. I know, Casey, you escaped down to Florida, got away from the snow and the cold.
Yeah, I had to leave. Me and the mayor of Akron are locked in a bitter dispute over whether my street should be plowed or not, and he seems to be winning because the street is not being plowed. As much as I complain, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere. So yes, he has won this round, and admiral opponent, I guess. He's getting the best of me. So yeah, I'm down here in Florida where there is no snow.
Keep swinging.
Hey, that's one thing I always do, Rob. I always keep swinging. So,
and maybe a future episode live at City Hall would do something for us.
Yeah, maybe we'll see if he wants to come on the show. Seamus, if you're listening, I hopefully he's a runner. I mean, he's free to come on. It'd be cool to have the mayor of Akron on. I do give him a hard time. And hey, look, I am not a road expert. I don't understand the complexities of plowing. Yeah, here we are. I'm in Florida. What we're doing today is we're wrapping up our year. We're going to go over what we feel like were our favorite guests, not necessarily the best guests, but what we feel like were our maybe best episodes, most informative episodes, most entertaining episodes. Maybe we'll give a special award for my worst opening of the season. Let's start it off. Let's go to you, David. What was your, are we going to do top four episodes each? I feel like that's pretty good.
Top four.
Yeah, I have four. So I split it into two. So we have the episodes that are just entertainment, and then we have the episodes that hopefully everybody learn something from. I'm going to go way back for one of my favorites of the educational variety, and that's episode 03. Episode 3 was Ellen Landis. So we talked nutrition. I think, Casey, you were on. That was back. We had Nathan Reyes as the co-host. And it's one I just really enjoyed. I think it's, we're still kind of finding our way, finding our format, but Ellen was fantastic, shared some good information that I still try to use in, my nutrition and my own diet, things I do in my own plan.
Yeah, she's a great follow on social media as well. I follow her. Ellen was awesome. Great episode if you want to go back and listen.
It was almost exactly a year ago.
Yep, almost exactly 1 year ago. January 16th, that was the published date. Rob, who do you have as number 4?
It was tough. I spent a lot of time going back to the list. But number 4, I have Dr. Bonnie. Dr. Bonnie, episode 22. We've had a lot of very smart people on the podcast, and she was dropping a lot of just new knowledge to me and a lot of things I wasn't aware of. And I learned a ton. And what was interesting is everything we covered. I think every injury I've experienced, in my running career. Very fun person. I love that she was very matter of fact, but at the same time, she had a great sense of humor. So Dr. Bonnie was number 4 for me.
Yeah, Dr. Bonnie still, it seems to be one of our most highly regarded episodes. Terrific, terrific guest. I probably got more text message comments from the Dr. Bonnie episode. Not a fan of Hoka. I appreciate that, which was awesome. And yeah, that's another one. Her and Ellen, I would like to have back on. Maybe we'll do it soon, but just kind of an update, to see where things are, and maybe, see if we can take a little bit direction with them. But yeah, she's awesome. Great physical therapist. I know we've had listeners go to Dr. Bonnie, kind of help them out with some problems. So glad we could be instrumental in that.
We should have a panel episode. Invite all the medical professionals that we've had on the show. Ask them all the same question. I'm guessing we'll get different answers. It'll be a lot of fun.
Are we allowed to do that? Does our insurance cover that?
I have to look at the policy, but I think so.
Could be some chaos in motion in that one.
Yeah, probably some good arguments. So my number 4 was Ryan Thrower. I like it anytime we have people that have built something, that create something, and you kind of get to explore how they look at things like that. And, Ryan and the work that he's done with Free Trail, the kind of montages he puts together online, done a great job with Free Trail, and was a really fun episode to do. Super nice guy. Phillies, yeah, not a big Phillies fan. I'm from Pittsburgh, but I do like whenever we play the Phillies, and they call it the poop series because the Philly P, the Pittsburgh P, and it's 0-0. Yeah, I know it's kind of juvenile, but very fun. But yeah, Ryan Thrower, my number 4 episode. I like the creative mind and everything that goes into that.
You guys got to talk a little bit of music in that as well, Casey. I know you and Ryan have similar taste in music genre.
Yeah, definitely we do. Anytime I get to talk about Enema of the State and Take Off Your Pants and Jacket in an episode, it's going to be a favorite of mine. So yeah, Ryan Thrower, that's number 4 for me. And hopefully get to watch him this year continue to do great things on Free Trail. We're on to number 3. David, who do you have as your number 3 episode?
So we've checked off my number 3. We may have some more repeats here, but I had Bonnie Wilder as well. I thought that was a great episode as far as the educational went. I kind of had 2 educational and 2 just what I felt were entertaining episodes, and Bonnie Wilder was certainly an educational one. Same as Rob said, I had experienced a lot of those injuries myself. I know we did a follow-up the next week and talked through some of those injuries that we'd had and what we had done to, I guess, get ourselves past those. But certainly Bonnie's advice was better than ours. Yeah, incredible information that she came on and shared with us.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, just reiterating the Dr. Bonnie episode. That's something we kind of, I guess, some people overlook a little bit, is the physical therapy aspect of running. Yeah, you do pile up injuries and need to overcome them and take care of your body. And just even the information that I get from her on Instagram is awesome. So I certainly understand why she's making some top 4s. Rob, who do you have?
Well, at some point we need to check out her practice. Like if we're ever in the area for a race,
Yeah,
just stop in, visit the brick and mortar, say hi.
Yeah, I agree. I would definitely do it. She's up in Connecticut, I believe, correct?
Yeah. So maybe if we get to New Hampshire, run Jigger Johnson, just not too far away. Stop by and say hi.
Stop in, get my back cracked.
There you go.
Yeah,
we're gonna need it.
Yeah, most likely going to need it if we go up and do the Jigger Johnson. But TBD. That'll be on our schedule for 2025 this year. So
my number 3, again, super tough. Tabor and Eli, episode 7.
Yes.
That was a fun episode. I mean, their story growing up on the ranch, Tabor growing up on the ranch and then returning, they're almost like, it was like a superhero story, right? They go off and they're crazy fast. They run these incredible races, taking top 5, taking the number 1 spot many times for Eli, and then going back to the ranch, right? Just that episode was so much fun. I really enjoyed it. And I also feel that even though they were on the scene when they did the podcast, it felt like they were at the beginning of kind of the next step in their journey, right? As far as bigger races, getting that top 5, top 10, taking the gold. It was a fun episode. I enjoyed it.
I'll jump in there, Rob. That you actually took my number 2 episode as well in your 3 spot. So I agree. Tabor and Eli were incredible, and it was really cool to have a couple on. That's a couple in racing that I think at the time we were calling them one of the fastest couples on the planet, and probably not far off from being true. We got to see them in person when we were out. What was it, Black Canyon, right? Last year, where Eli took first,
Mhm.
and then not long after, they both went out and crushed it at Big Alta. Yeah, I agree with Rob completely. A fantastic episode. Just amazing folks to talk with and see them out there just doing what they love to do and having fun with it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of both of them. I'm very disappointed in the voters of the free trail performance of the year that did not put Eli into the, I would say, top 3 from winning OCC. But, hey, it is what it is. Voters vote how they feel. I feel like this year, though, Eli is definitely set. I know he's in the Black Canyons 100K. I'm looking forward to him. I think he'll win a golden ticket there. I have no doubt. That seems like, talking to him last year in the episode, that seems like his kind of trail, exactly what he enjoys running. I feel like we're going to get to see him at Western State. So looking for bigger and better things from Eli. And, Tabor, phenomenal runner herself, maybe had a little bit of a rougher year. And that's in comparison to Eli, who had, I think, a top 3 year. So looking forward to her doing big things. She's going to be in contention at OCC. And she's going to run all the big, I guess, 50K type races this year for the women. So I look forward to watching Tabor as well. For my number 3 pick, I have Bill Armstrong of Never Second. I thought that was a very informative episode, as well as, again, it goes back to someone who built something and created something. And to me, that always is a person that I want to talk to, that I kind of want to understand a little bit better how they did it, why they did it, and the thought process behind it. So Bill Armstrong of Never Second is my number 3.
Yeah, I agree there. That one wasn't on my list. It was so recent that we had 38 episodes, 35, 38 episodes, maybe 35 episodes. That was a recent one, so it was top of mind. Fantastic episode. And I'm with you. Just like product aside, just getting to dive into Bill's mind and his prior career and the business that he and his wife had built. And hearing he tried retirement for a year and said, "Hey, I wake up in the morning and nobody's calling me, nobody's looking for me." And I get that. Casey, you're an entrepreneur too, as people who like to be busy and find joy in doing that. It was fun hearing Bill's story on just finding the joy and starting something new, the reasons he found it, the problem that he saw that was out there in the industry to start, and the approach that he took, science first. It was a great story.
Agree. That was a fun one. My favorite part of the episode is when Bill was really digging into all the different conversations he had with his mad scientist and like where they're going. The science first, constantly. And you hear that a lot from other companies, but look on the back of the box, look at the ingredients. There's a lot of them that you could just pull the package out, put it in a different box. It's the same stuff, right? That science first approach, really focusing on his mad scientist, what he's done in his career, what he brings to the table, and leading with that was very cool. You could tell the guy was in it because he loved it. He was already successful once, to your point, Dave. He didn't need to do it again. So it was cool.
Yeah, went back in to succeed. So yeah, that's my number 3. David, we're on to number 2. Who do you have? Hey folks, if you're loving the stories, tips, and laughs we're dishing out, make sure you don't miss an episode. Hit that subscribe button so you're the first to know when a new episode drops. And hey, if you've got a second, why not leave us a review? Your feedback helps us improve and keeps this running community growing. Lace up, hit subscribe, and let's get back into the show.
My number 2 is Tabor and Eli Hemming. So I'm gonna jump to my number 1. Maybe I'll find an honorable mention for next time around. My number 1, I'm gonna say, was Connie Gardner, episode 32.
That was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, and that's part of it. I mean, we're big part of why we're doing this. We have fun. We get to come on, enjoy it, meet great people, and when it was one that was a local person, and I had met Connie before a couple of times, but to go down and spend some time with Connie and Nikki and hang out in the Thirsty Dog Brewery, which is such a cool just site and building and story in and of itself, but to spend some time with them, share a couple of beers. Connie, again, we're just lucky, a local legend, not a local legend, a legend in ultra running, and now in the Ultra Running Hall of Fame. Really special to have her here local and be able to spend some time, get to know her better, and we'll continue to see her and hopefully spend time with them, just running local races, going to the Walmsley 5 a.m. track workouts with Connie and Nikki. Hope to join some of those when it's not 10 degrees out in the morning. Maybe I'll be a springtime runner of those, not so much in the winter. But yeah, behind the scenes, one of the most difficult editing projects we had, I think, starting in the brewery. First one we did on location with equipment we hadn't really tested out anywhere but in our own quiet environments through our Zoom calls. But fantastic time putting it together, and really good episode at the end of the day.
Yeah, I agree. That was fun. I mean, when you popped out of the editing studio, I could see the look on your face, and you're like, "We got to do it again. We need more." So we knew it was an important episode because it's Connie, because she's the local legend, and yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I think it turned out really well, even though it was challenging.
Yeah, definitely challenging. And you two do a great job of the editing and handling the audio. So that resides with the two of you, and I'm sure the challenges of recording it in a brewery, which was just basically an old warehouse in the middle of Akron above an aqueduct, very cool aqueduct, by the way, were significant. So yeah, Connie, that was a fun episode. We drank a lot of beer that evening, and we got it free from Thirsty Dog. Shout out Thirsty Dog. We appreciate what you do, and shout out Nikki having us there and allowing us to use the brewery was very nice of her and awesome. Yeah. So friend of the show, Nikki, and friend of the show, Connie. Great episode. Yeah, David, I definitely agree. That was the most fun we ever had recording, for sure. That's, as far as fun recording, that's number one without a doubt.
Great.
Yeah, appreciate it, Connie, and yeah, now consider her a friend. And we've made a lot of friends this year, for sure, where we go to these things and see people and know people, and it's pretty cool. Let's see, where are we at? Rob, you're up.
Episode number 2. As we get closer to 1, it becomes a lot more challenging.
It does.
For episode number 2, I have episode 26, the race directors for the Laurel Highlands.
Yes.
That was a fun one. I went back and listened to that earlier today, and it was great. And, I don't know if it's just because of the episode or because of the 2 amazing guests we have, or because it's Laurel Highlands and we run that race every single year and it's one of my favorites. But yeah, from start to finish, it was great. I really enjoyed it. It was great to hear kind of their origin story, right? Not the origin story of the race, but when they took over as owners and during COVID, some of the troubles they ran into early on, winning over the locals. It was just it was a great story. And the fact that we've run it so many times, that race, and we know it so well, the town. Yeah, that was my number 2. Really enjoyed that episode.
Yeah, ton of fun. I mean, we talk about that race nonstop here because it's every year I will go back there in some capacity, whether it's helping at an aid station, sweeping, I will be involved in some way with that race. And it's my local, where I grew up, hometown race. And, I want to see it always be successful. And they were awesome. They were really cool. And we appreciate them coming on. It's been you know, it's been tough to get race directors on, and Dan and Jim came on, no problem, and answered any questions we had. There was no script that they needed to be beholden to. And I really respected that. And I respect the race, and I respect everything the race is. And yeah, it was thrilling. And I'm glad they have what do they call it? The fall classic.
Yeah, hints of possibly an out and back in someday in the fall classic on the 70 miles, so 140-mile out and back.
Jeez. Oh.
It's in the works. It's in the works. So yeah, that'll be up there with like the Cocodona 250. It'll be 140, but very brutal 140 miles. So yeah, those guys were awesome, and yeah, appreciate them coming on. Maybe we'll have them. I'm still looking. I'm looking for next year to do something hobby joggerish before Laurel Highlands. Someone, maybe have a couple people on for that, because it is my favorite race, and it's so much fun. And glad to see it sold out within minutes of being open. So,
and they invited us to record on location live.
Yep.
Maybe it won't be live, but at least on location.
Yep.
I don't know if we're mature enough to do anything live, but maybe someday.
We are not equipped for live broadcast yet.
We can't afford a dump button yet, I guess is what you're saying.
We will be live on site, but our audience will not get live feed.
Yeah.
We're live with a 2-week delay.
Yeah. Yes. It's as live as we get, a 2-week delay. So yeah. Always look forward to Laurel Highlands. Look forward to it next year. We'll be there in some capacity. We don't know yet. It's early in 2025. On to my number 2. Also, something that I always like talking to is an athlete that I think is going to do greater things. So for my number 2, I picked Abby Herring. She was made nationals, collegiate nationals in cross country, qualified for Boston, and I look forward to her going on to do bigger and better things, whether she wants to do marathons or ultras. I don't know. I'm guessing down there in Huntington, her friends that she runs with down there, I'm hoping she goes towards the ultra scene, which I'm partial to. Would also be thrilled to see her take part and be an elite marathon runner, which she clearly has the ability to do. So that was my number 2. And like I said, I always like to see an athlete, like kind of, I guess, talk to them before they explode into great things. Not that she hasn't done great things already, because she has, but I think there's a lot more for Abby's future. So that was my number 2.
That was a great episode. And you mentioned her doing some ultra running. She hinted at it in the episode, and I can't see how it would go any other way with Coach Caleb Bowen, another friend of the show and a guest on an episode as well. Yeah, obviously Caleb in his own right in ultra running is carved a great path, and I know they have a fantastic trail running community down in Huntington.
Yep, I agree. It was a great episode, and it was fun to talk to somebody as young as her. Kind of at the beginning. So many possibilities. Got a great coach. She can do whatever she wants.
Yep.
Whether she gets into trail running or not, maybe. My guess is probably 3 years from now she'll be running 100 milers. Yep. But who knows? She can do whatever she wants. It was a fun episode.
And she's going to be good at it, whatever she decides to do. And I'll root for her. So yeah, that was why she was my number 2. It was awesome. Super cool. And yeah, just very excited to watch Abby in the future. And definitely also kind of runner up with number 2, her coach, Caleb Bowen, friend of the show, been on the show. We thank Caleb for coming on, Summit Western State. So he's kind of included in that. Now we get to our favorite episodes, best episodes, however you want to rank it. I don't know. David, what did you have as our number 1 episode?
Jim Walmsley came on the show along with Will as co-host, so the twin Walmsley brothers. It was a special episode, May the 4th. We were at one point going to talk Star Wars. We thought that Jim Walmsley knew a lot more about Star Wars. It turned out he was married on May the 4th, and they did enjoy that it was Star Wars related, but wasn't entirely up on the trivia as we thought he would be, or his brother Will is. But certainly one worth listening to. Great episode. Definitely one of the most entertaining 3-minute openings of an episode that we have. So if you haven't listened to the Jim Walmsley episode, that one's one to start with.
Yeah, by far the most entertaining intro for this podcast ever. I had more comments just on the intro. I'm like, did you finish the podcast? Or, I'll get to it. I'm not a big runner, right? These are friends talking to me that have listened to it. It's like, I know you're not, but just listen to the whole thing. It's like, I went back and listened to the intro 3 times. I mean, It was a fantastic episode. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Yeah, you don't know where one little place is in France, and you never hear the end of it. Nice is in France. I found out that episode. Yeah.
Casey, in your defense, I think you opened a 4-time Western States winner. He is now a 4-time Western States winner. So for anyone listening after Western States 2024, it has become more accurate as it's aged.
Casey can predict the future. I mean, that's the takeaway there.
Yes. I did see the future. I knew he was going to win. I had all the faith in the world that he was going to win. He also, while I'm on the topic of Jim, he should have won the Free Trail Performance of the Year with his performance at Western States. I thought it was the best performance of the year. Possibly Vincent Bouillard as the UTMB champion was second. I guess I'm not going to question, and it's not Free Trail, it's the voters that decide. I don't think the voters are correct. The Hobby Jogger Performance of the Year goes to Jim Walmsley as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, not even a top 5 to the voters. I mean, it was incredible. I think being out there and watching it live, Casey, being there and seeing it, I think everybody went in thinking Jim was going to be an hour ahead or something like that. But the guys pressed him through the entire race. I mean, it's an entirely different thing when you have guys, 5 minutes behind you, 10 minutes behind you after 70, 80 miles. So it was impressive what he went out there and did with guys chasing on his heels, everybody out to chase down Jim. It was an incredible performance. We may be biased. We got to watch it live, but it was something to see.
Yeah, I mean, in people listening, there is a little bit of like I can't say I'm not biased because of Will. Like that's, hey Will, let's go down and watch the Hotspurs and drink some beers. Like that's my best friend. So I can't say there's not, but I can also, I see things pretty clear, and I feel like that was the best race of the year because they did push him, they pressured him. He wasn't just clear by an hour. Like any of those 9-10 guys that had a great day, and shout out to Rod Farvard who ran his heart out and he went for it. He didn't just sit back and he actually was trying to win the race. Dakota Jones as well pushed and wanted to win the race. He ran the race to win it. So yeah, I think that was the performance of the year. And I give the Hobby Jogger race performance of the year to Jim Walmsley. So it's not an official. Well, no, it is an official award now. I say it's official. So it's official. Yeah. He's the Hobby Jogger performance of the year.
You can print out whatever awards you want, man. I got them ready.
Yeah.
Just print them out.
Yeah. We'll send him something. I don't know. Maybe a gift card to Olive Garden. Who knows? But yeah, he is the Hobby Jogger performance of the year. And Katie Scheid is the women's performance of the year at Western States. So to me,
it's official.
Yeah.
It's official.
Yeah. You guys can have your own opinions on that as well. But that's, to me, those were the two. And yeah. So yeah, Jim, tremendous episode. Little bad read on the knowing Star Wars. I thought maybe he was a Star Wars dork like his brother Will. Turns out he's not. He just got married on May the 4th because he thought that was pretty cool, which, hey, I can respect that. So, yeah, very cool of Jim to do that when we were very early in the Hobby Jogger. Didn't have to do it, but, that's the kind of guy he is, very down to earth. And was also cool, David. Got to talk to him after Western States and get a little inside info on the race that, not maybe everyone else got, but yeah, that was cool. So, yeah, shout out to Jim and him being the Hobby Jogger performance of the year. Rob, who is your number one?
Smile or you're doing it wrong.
Yes.
Mr. Andrew Glaze.
Shout out.
Episode 5. I mean, that guy, he just represents running. I mean, if you follow him on Strava, you get tired. just watching everything that he's doing, whether he's at the firehouse just doing loops, or he's going out to an ultra, or he's going in the sauna, going in the ice bath. I mean, the guy's a beast. And I think if I had to pick one person that just represents the running community in the most positive way possible and just enjoys the hurt, it's Mr. Andrew Glaze. So that is my number one.
Yeah. Yeah. My buddy Andy, man, he's got a lot of haters. So, well, not a lot. He's got some haters out there who are like questioning him because LA is having some very bad fires right now. And just reading his comments and his replies was pretty cool to see. I posted it to my story on Instagram, but he clearly laid out like basically how firefighting works. And, he's out there fighting the fires. That's his full-time job. He's not a full-time runner. I know a lot of people might not believe that. But he's a firefighter, and he's out there in California right now fighting fire. So yeah, Andrew Glaze, great dude. Smile or you're doing it wrong. I think
you can't raise the bar on Andrew. Man, the guy's a king. He's great.
Yeah. He's so nice, and immediately said yes. We were how many episodes were we in for that?
It's episode 5.
Episode 5. So immediately said yes. Just could have just ignored us like maybe some other people have over the last year, which is fine. Hey, we're just the hobby jogger. We're no one special, but immediately said yes. Super nice guy. One of my favorite episodes to do for sure. I have a lot of favorite episodes, so it was really hard to get to the top 4. So yeah, Andrew Glaze, smile, you're doing it wrong. Yeah, the king of nice. I'll say that, the king of nice, because he is
indeed
the king of positivity, and good positivity, not just like toxic positivity, but just actually just a positive, happy guy. So shout out to him. Number 1 on my list. I didn't think either of you would have it on here. I'm pretty certain you wouldn't. Mine goes to also a resident of LA, Mr. Brian Parker. Anytime I get to talk to someone that talented, Emmy nominated, you don't find those people just hanging around anywhere. It's very cool to me. Elizabeth Clore was up there. She wrote a book. I've never talked to an author before. I've certainly never talked to I forget what Brian called himself, sound guy, sound engineer, sound guy. He's got a new show on HBO, The Pit, that he worked on. Sounded awesome in the trailer, so I look forward to watching that. But anytime I get to talk to someone that is that good at their job, and an art of that is something that I always remember. And I got to talk music with him. I've got a lot of new songs on the Swedish death metal genre that I did not know before. And Annie hates them all, which makes me like them even more. So Brian Parker was my number 1.
Yeah, shout out to Brian as well. Great episode. And also the author of our roll in and roll out music. Our intro music is compliments of Brian Parker. So it's certainly a great contribution to the show, and a great episode that was well viewed just when he shared that himself, all the support he got from his folks and his Instagram and the people around him. I know he's out there doing, Rob, you'll probably know, I think 5K, 10K, and he half marathon. He's out to the half marathon distance at this point.
Well, I'm very happy to announce he is training for his first marathon, which is coming up in, I think, 2 months.
Nice.
Yeah. So he's training for it.
Yeah.
He's sticking to the training. No, I'm so happy that you picked Brian. I couldn't pick him because he's my brother-in-law.
Yeah.
But I'm happy that you did. Yeah, it was a really fun episode. It was good. It was nice to see somebody in a professional recording booth that actually does this for a living. So the other shout out I'll give is we've had a few challenging recordings where the audio is not the best. And we have a decent setup, and David and we're still amateurs, but we're getting better. It's been great to have him as a lifeline, just to reach out when we have some audio problems, and he's helped us out a couple of times, and the episodes turned out great because of him. So
yeah, I think I've mentioned a few times, we punch way above our weight when it comes to like having Brian as someone that we can ask for, like the intro, outro music. Brian, this audio kind of sucks. Can you save it? Yeah, give me 10 minutes. Hold on. And then whatever it is that he does, and however it is that he does it, I don't know. It's beyond my knowledge. And I thank him immensely for that. So yeah, Brian Parker, who has been, he's someone that we had him on the show, but we don't talk about him that much, but he's been very helpful to us. And I know it is your brother-in-law, Rob, and I figured you wouldn't pick him. And, it's just kind of just an episode we did. But to me, it was, that was my number one episode, because I don't talk to Emmy-nominated artists very often or ever.
Maybe when he finishes the marathon, we'll have him on a Hobby Jogger and Friends episode to talk about it.
Absolutely. He's invited anytime Brian's talk. Well, that is our recap for the 2024 year. And looking ahead to 2025, we sincerely thank all of our listeners that listened to us this year. If you listen to one episode, heck, if you listen to no episodes and somehow find this episode, we certainly thank you very much for listening to us. And we greatly appreciate it. And Rob, David, thank you so much for the work that you put into this show. Without you two, this show wouldn't happen and wouldn't be a thing. And thank you to all the guests who have come on this year. It was a great year, and we learned a lot, and hopefully we get better.
So a ton of guests, 35 episodes, fantastic FY24. Can't wait for 25.
We couldn't have done it without the guests, for sure. All of them. It was, hey, you learn a lot. And we got to talk to a lot of different people from a lot of different backgrounds this year. It was a lot of fun. So yeah, looking forward to next year for sure. David, anything to wrap it up for us?
No, thank you guys. Yeah, host and co-host. Yeah, you guys come on every week or every other week, depending on schedule and time of the year. But it's been a great year. We've made some good friends, connected with great people. I just look forward to the year ahead as we go back out there and we have a couple of races on our schedule. Just the ability to get out to these races now and travel and see these familiar faces, the friends that we made doing that, and looking forward to the year ahead. Appreciate your guys' efforts in making this all happen.
And thank you for all the editing, David, the hours you spend trying to make me have coherent sounding conversations with people. I certainly appreciate that. And you as well, Rob. It does, I've heard I come across very coherent and well-versed in keeping conversation together, despite my best tries at rambling and adding things on that I shouldn't. So thank you guys.
Yeah, 100% worth it. Hours and hours of editing, but it's a lot of fun.
It is.
You feel very close to our guests. At least I do. After hearing the same episode, sometimes 10 times, you realize how special it is. And I have a lot of fun doing it. And yeah, this has been a great year. Looking forward to the next. It's been great working with you two guys and, our extended family of hobby joggers that have been on multiple times. The guys we run with, go out on the trail, sweat and bleed. It's been great having them on multiple times. So, yep. David producing Through All Things Are Possible. Great and powerful. Casey Koza. This has been a blast.
It has been a blast. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, guys. And we look forward to the next episode. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of The Hobby Jogger. We hope you've enjoyed our conversation today. And if you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review on your favorite podcast platform. Your support keeps us moving forward. Until next time, keep those feet moving and enjoy the miles.